Hello, this is Geometry Topic 2-5 on segments, midpoints, and bisectors. So let's just review what a midsegment is. A midpoint. We have A, B, and C. A midpoint cuts AC in half. So if B is the midpoint of AC, let's go ahead and draw our line. And B is the midpoint. AB is Z plus 2. BC is 2Z minus 6. And we want to figure out what Z is. Well, because these are congruent, I can just set them equal to each other. Z plus 2 equals 2Z minus 6. Go ahead and move my Z's to one side. 2 equals Z minus 6, add 6, and we get that Z equals 8. Now let's talk about a segment bisector. So a segment bisector is when we take a point, line, or plane and that cuts our segment at the midpoint. And so here I'm saying that this is a segment bisector for this segment. So let's go ahead and take a look. B is between A and C. A, B, C. AB is 2y plus 6. BC is y plus 8. And AC is 20. And we want to see if B is a bisector. So we don't know that B is a bisector. All we know is that these equal 20. So let's go ahead and figure it out. Let's solve for y. This side plus this side must equal 20 because of the segment addition postulate. When we combine terms, uh, 3y plus 14 equals 20. We subtract 14. 3y equals 6 means y must equal 2. Well, now let's check it out. 2 times 2 plus 6 is 4 plus 6 is 10. And 2 plus 8 is also 10. So they are the same. So the answer here is yes. B is a bisector. Now, had we done this, gotten a y value, plugged it back into both sides, and these were not the same, that would tell me that B is not a bisector. It doesn't tell me I got the y value wrong, it just tells me that B is not a bisector if these two don't match. But because they did, we do know that B is in fact a bisector. Let's have a look at the next page. Here we're given a picture, and we're told that WY bisects UV at Y. That means that this is the same length as that. That gives us a lot of information. Let's see what we can do with it. So if UY is 5, we want to find YV and UV. So if this is 5, that means this must also be 5. And the whole thing must be 10 because 5 plus 5 makes 10. So YV was 5. And UV is 10. Simple enough. Let's make it just a little bit harder. We've got the same picture. And this says that UY is 4x minus 3. YV is x. And we want to find some things. Well, because I know these are congruent, I can set them to be the same. 4x minus 3 must equal x. Well, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x. Negative 3 equals negative 3x. X must equal 1. So that means that YV is 1 because it's just x. And 4 times 1 is 4 minus 3 is 1. So we guaranteed that. And the whole thing must be 2. So UY equals 1. And UV equals 2. Now let's take a look at example number 5. U, Y, and V. This says that UV is 18, UY is 9, and we want to find YV. Well, I can find it one of two ways. I can do 18 minus 9 is 9, or I can say that 9 equals 9 because I know that these must be congruent. So YV equals 9. Either way that we go about it. Let's look at our next page. We're given the same picture. We're told that it bisects in the same spot. So let's go ahead and look at example number 6. UV, the whole thing, is x plus 6. UY is x minus 1. And we need to find out what YV is. Well, if this is x minus 1, that means this one must also be x minus 1. So x minus 1 plus x minus 1 has to equal x plus 6. Alternatively, we could say that x minus 1 times 2 has to equal x plus 6. Either way, we get 2x minus 2 equals x plus 6. We do some basic algebra. And we get that x equals 8. So that means that x equals 8. That means this one must be 7. This one must be 7. And 8 plus 6 is 14. And 7 plus 7 is 14. Now YV, we've already said was 7. And there we go. One more example. U, Y, and V. UY, 3x minus 6. YV, x plus 2. And we want to find out what UV is? Well, I know these are congruent. So, 3x minus 6 must equal x plus 2. Go ahead and do some basic algebra. And we are down to x equals 4. So if x equals 4, we want to find out what uv is. So 4 plus 2 makes 6. 3 times 4 is 12, minus 6 is 6. And so the whole thing must be 12. And I wanted the whole thing, uv, so uv equals 12. And there we go. So all we did was we added the definition of a bisector to what we already knew about midpoints, and we found the length of segments based off of those midpoints. Good luck on your assignment and have a good day.